Welcome to RankLens. Today, we count down the top 10 most audacious business deals in modern history. Business history is full of audacious moves, but some deals stand alone, deals where a buyer risked everything on a bet that seemed impossible. Today, we're counting down the 10 most ambitious acquisitions and leveraged buyouts in modern history, ranked by the sheer audacity of the gamble, the impossible odds stacked against success, and how permanently each one reshaped its entire industry. We're talking about deals where the buyer was smaller, leaner, hungrier, where every expert said it'll never happen. And yet they did. From a Chinese upstart challenging US national security to a Brazilian brewer swallowing half the world's beer, the countdown starts now. At number 10, Disney's acquisition of Pixar in 2006. When Disney wrote a check for $74 billion in stock to buy Steve Jobs' animation studio, they didn't just get a trophy. They made Jobs himself Disney's largest individual shareholder. That's audacious. Pixar wasn't some unknown bet. They'd already delivered Toy Story and Finding Nemo, two of the biggest animated films ever made. But here's what makes this rank so high. Disney needed Pixar. Their own animation studio had flatlined. By absorbing Pixar wholesale, Disney bought back its creative heartbeat and handed Steve Jobs the keys to the kingdom. The deal proved that sometimes the smartest acquisition isn't the hungry startup, it's the proven creative powerhouse that will reshape everything. At number 9, the merger of AOL and Time Warner in 2000, a deal worth $350 billion. This wasn't just big, it was the largest merger ever attempted. A dot-com upstart, burning through cash, absorbed a century-old media empire at the exact peak of the dot-com bubble. The timing was shocking. Regulators waved it through. Then everything collapsed. What seemed inevitable at the peak became infamous as one of history's worst mergers. The audacity here wasn't that it worked, it was that anyone believed it would. The companies eventually split apart, writing off billions. Today, the AOL-Time Warner merger sits in the Hall of Fame for catastrophic deal-making, a reminder that scale and pedigree mean nothing if you buy at the wrong moment, in the wrong way, for the wrong reasons. At number 8, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard in 2023 for $69 billion. This is the largest gaming deal ever struck, and Microsoft had to fight like hell to close it. For 2 years, the FTC, the UK's CMA, and the European Union all threw regulatory blockades in Microsoft's path. Britain's regulators flat out blocked it initially. But Microsoft didn't back down. When the dust settled, they owned Call of Duty, Warcraft, and Candy Crush, franchises that define gaming itself. The audacity wasn't just the price tag. It was the willingness to fight 3 continents worth of regulators and win. They weaponized patience, legal muscle, and refusal to walk away, and it fundamentally reset the balance of power in gaming. At number 7, Lenovo's acquisition of IBM's personal computer division in 2005 for $1.75 billion. This is the story of an unknown Chinese firm that walked into the lion's den and walked out with IBM's crown jewel. IBM was exiting the PC industry it had helped pioneer. But the US wasn't going to let a Chinese company take it without a fight. A national security review nearly killed the deal entirely. Lenovo pushed through anyway. ThinkPad came with them. And then came the punchline. Lenovo eventually became the world's #1 PC maker. What seemed impossible became inevitable. The audacity was a Chinese manufacturer betting that it could master a Western industrial icon at a time when geopolitics said it should be impossible. They were right. At number 6, Tata Motors' acquisition of Jaguar Land Rover from Ford in 2008 for $2.3 billion. Tata was a truck maker from India on just $8.8 billion in revenue. Jaguar and Land Rover were storied British luxury icons. The audacity peaks with timing. The deal closed just months before the global financial crisis hit. When the world was collapsing, Tata doubled down on luxury. That looked insane for about 2 years. Then, JLR rebounded and became a profit engine for the Indian conglomerate. Tata's bet on British heritage in the worst moment possible paid off spectacularly, proving that sometimes the bravest move is to buy when everyone else is selling. At number 5, AB InBev's $107 billion acquisition of SABMiller in 2016. This deal capped 3G Capital's extraordinary roll-up, a Brazilian regional brewer that had systematized the acquisition playbook, swallowing the world's number 2 brewer whole. The combined company became the world's largest brewer by volume. That kind of consolidation doesn't happen quietly. Regulators demanded divestitures of major brands in multiple markets just to let it close. But the portfolio that survived? Budweiser, Stella Artois, Corona, franchises that span the globe. The audacity was turning a regional success story into a beverage monopoly, absorbing a competitor that was nearly as large as itself, and convincing antitrust authorities worldwide that the world's beer drinkers would be better served by more concentration, not less. At number 4, Elon Musk's leveraged buyout of Twitter in 2022 for $44 billion. This is the largest tech LBO ever, a personal bet by a single entrepreneur. And Musk tried to walk away. After months of chaos and negotiation, he attempted to back out. But a Delaware court forced the deal to completion. Musk was legally trapped. He completed the acquisition. Then he rebranded the entire platform as X. The audacity here is personal in a way no other deal on this list is. One man levered up, betting his fortune and his reputation on reshaping a global platform. He didn't just buy a company, he levered himself to the hilt to force a cultural reckoning with the world's town square. At number 3, Facebook's acquisition of Instagram in 2012 for $1 billion. Let that sink in. Zuckerberg paid $1 billion for a 13-person company that generated zero revenue. Zero. The deal happened in 72 hours. The internet howled. Insane valuation, they said. Bubble pricing, they said. Stupid, they said. Instagram had only been around for 18 months. But Zuckerberg saw something others didn't. Mobile was the future, and Instagram owned it. That $1 billion bet saved Facebook's entire company. Today, Instagram is one of the world's largest social platforms, worth over 100 times what Facebook paid. The audacity wasn't the price, it was seeing the future when everyone else saw a joke. At number 2, Vodafone AirTouch's acquisition of Mannesmann in 1999 for $18.3 billion. This is the largest hostile takeover in corporate history. And it was cross-border, directed at a German company, at a time when hostile takeovers in Germany were considered institutionally impossible. Mannesmann was an industrial powerhouse, founded in the 1890s, woven into German capitalism itself. The idea that a British telecom could seize it against the board's wishes? Unthinkable. Vodafone did it anyway. The deal shattered the taboo against hostile bidding in Europe. It remains one of the largest acquisitions ever completed, and it rewrote the rules of European M&A forever, proving that no boardroom is safe and no industrial icon untouchable. At number 1, the leveraged buyout of RJR Nabisco by Kohlberg Kravis Roberts in 1988. The deal value, $25 billion, financed almost entirely by debt. And at the time, it was unprecedented. The bidding war was fierce. KKR competed against RJR Nabisco's own management team. KKR won. The LBO held the record for largest leveraged buyout for nearly 2 decades. It defined the entire private equity playbook, the template that PE firms still follow today. The audacity was simple. Borrow more money than had ever been borrowed. Buy a company no one thought anyone could afford, and reshape American business forever. The whole story was immortalized in the book Barbarians at the Gate. This deal proved that with enough leverage, enough confidence, and enough willingness to bet on complexity, you can move mountains. These 10 deals aren't just financial trivia. They're a map of how modern capitalism actually works. They show us that the biggest reshapings of industries often come not from the biggest players playing it safe. They come from the bold, the desperate, and the visionary, willing to bet everything when the odds say it's impossible. From Jobs handing over the keys to Disney, to Lenovo betting the farm on ThinkPad, to Zuckerberg buying Invisible Future for $1 billion, audacity doesn't always pay off. But when it does, it rewrites the rules. The deals on this countdown didn't just move markets. They permanently altered the shape of their industries, created wealth, destroyed assumptions, and proved that in business, the winners are often the ones willing to make the bet no one else would make. And that's the top 10 most audacious business deals in modern history. If you enjoyed this countdown, subscribe to RankLens for more.